Hello, my name is Sean Hoth, and today I will be discussing an article called The Hidden Costs of Organizational Dishonesty. I found this to be very insightful, and the understanding of it could be very helpful in curbing unethical behavior in both the short and long term. The article was published in the MIT Sloan Management Review in the spring of 2004 and was written by Robert Cialdini of Arizona State University, along with two doctoral students. Why is there dishonesty in the workplace? There are many reasons. For us to be ethical in the workplace, here are a few of them that push us to make the uncomfortable decision of whether to be dishonest or not. For salesmen, it's the fact that they get pushed so hard to meet their sales quotas. For management, the corporate health and survival of the company can push them to make unethical decisions, hoping that they'll help the company. For companies that aren't competing very well against the market leaders, accountants may fudge a little bit on the books to make it look a little bit better. And then the majority of us, the company, would be the employees wanting to move forward in their career, so they may find themselves trying to get an advantage on their coworkers in whatever way. Why should we be ethical? There are so many reasons to be ethical, and there are a few that I've noted here that keeps us behaving correctly. For most of us, they feel that it's the right thing to do based on moral beliefs, that they would feel guilty otherwise. Other people are just very strict rule followers no matter what the rule is. A lot of people still hear their mom in their head telling them to be truthful. And now that college business degrees require an ethics class, that could also be one of them. And then of course there is the one that probably has the most power: I just don't want to get fired from this job. An organization that teaches, encourages, condones, or allows dishonest tactics will experience a set of internal consequences. These consequences are called malignancies, and there are three of them that were cited in the article. I will be discussing these three. One of them, reputation degradation. Number two, mismatches between values of employees and organization, and increased surveillance. The most obvious consequence of organizational dishonesty would be that of a poor reputation, and it can be among current or former or future clients and business partners. The type of dishonesty that I'm talking about is not the small scale things that you'll see, but the large scale, that is company-wide. The company almost teaches dishonest practices. This takes years to rebuild. It takes one action to lose trust, but it'll take years of proven honesty to gain the trust back. A recent study shows that 80% of people stated that their perception of an unethical company had a direct effect on their decision to purchase goods or services from that firm. Once loyal customers end up going elsewhere, and earning their business again is going to be very difficult. There are many ways to clean up a reputation, but the best one that the article mentioned is to speed it up by replacing top management, showing that they're getting rid of the thing that may have started it. When an honest employee, we'll go to malignancy number two, and that is the mismatches between values of employees and organization. When an honest employee finds himself working at a company with dishonest practices, it will lead to a constant stress and conflict. The company will begin to see a greater instance of illness, lower job satisfaction, absenteeism, and once this begins to happen, productivity goes down, and therefore the bottom line suffers. And the third malignancy is increased surveillance. When dishonesty and theft start to happen within a company, management looks to curb it by installing surveillance. This is extremely expensive. It will cause many more problems, however, than just the expense. There exists a higher level of mental health problems like tension, severe anxiety, and depression. Employees feel a lack of trust from their management, which often creates an atmosphere of antagonism between employees and management. People who feel that their sense of freedom is also being threatened will often try to regain control by committing deliberately hostile actions to retaliate. And then, both honest and dishonest workers alike might assume that the monitoring is for them. Unfortunately for the company, actions that convey expectations of wrongdoing may lead to a rise in misconduct for both honest and dishonest workers, by creating self-fulfilling prophecies for the former and self-perpetuating ones for the latter. Those responsible for the implementation of the surveillance system may think that the increased productivity is created by the monitoring of employees. With management giving credit to the increase in productivity to surveillance systems, companies will continue investing in expensive systems hoping for the same results. In summary, these are the costs that we see when dishonesty exists within a company: decreased repeat business, low job satisfaction and performance, high work turnover, employee theft, expensive surveillance, an atmosphere of mistrust, and overall, the bottom line suffers. And that's what we see is the bottom line suffering is the hidden costs and all the hidden costs leading up to it. And during reviews with managers, they shouldn't speak just about productivity, but the importance of ethics. And as we see, a productive employee is most likely an ethical one. So productivity will correct itself in the end.